Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee, and welcome to this paper crafting card making tutorial. This is the gorgeous card we're making today. It's this lovely thank you card, and this version here I've used Azure Afternoon and Melon Mambo, and I really love how it turned out, so I thought we could make another one together. So let's get started. This time I'm going to use some different colours. I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape and Timid Tiger. This is the stamp set, Impressions Abloom, and we're going to use all three of these little florals here, and it's a two-step stamping, but I'm actually going to use just one colour, and you'll see here I'm going to stamp off, and this will allow me to get a lighter version, a darker version, using just one ink pad. So I'm inking up here the Gorgeous Grape, stamping it onto my grid paper, and then just stamping it down there. That's fine. And then I'm going to clean that, and then I'm going to take the layering piece, which is here, and I'm just going to keep twisting this round until I'm happy with the way it sits on top of my original stamping. Pick that up with a block, remember my orientation, ink this up, and this time I'm not going to stamp off, I'm going to do first generation stamping. And sorry if my head's in the camera, but you do need to look right down through your stamp so you can get things lined up really nicely. So there you go. So there you can see I just used one colour, but by stamping off for the first time for the background and then using the first generation for the second stamping, I was able to get some lovely detail just with one ink pad. Right, so closing that one up, and we're going to move on to our Timid Tiger. Now Timid Tiger is one of our new ink colours, and it's absolutely glorious, beautiful orange. So I'm going to stamp that again. Don't worry if it looks a bit blotchy, it will dry much better. And anyway, when you put your second piece on, you won't even notice anything. It's just all going to help to add interest and detail to your stamp. So you can see here me just taking my time to line this up. Sometimes it can be a little bit of it hides from you, but just keep going around as you can see I'm doing here, and there you go. You can find your match. Pick this up with a block, ink it up, and then head right over the stamp and down, and there you go. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that lovely? Right, so I'm going to clean that one up, and then I'm going to move to a smaller block for my last little one, and I'm going to do the same thing again. Stamp off, second generation stamping, clean that, and then we're going to get the layering piece here. And again, this one is very easy to layer up because doesn't have many ways that it can actually go, so it's very easy to find the right way. And there we go. So all I'm going to do now is pick that up with my block, stamp again, and then you can see again here, you can see my head's in the camera, I'm sorry about that, but it really does help if you get right above your stamp and look down straight through it to get things lined up really nicely. Okay, so that is our two-step stamping for our flowers. Now you can see here I've got centers, and again I'm stamping off to get my different colours, and then second time stamping, and there you can see your beautiful insides. So now for my orange flowers, I'm going to go for a purple inside, so we're swapping around, stamp it off again, and stamp it off, and there you go. And this is a really quick trick that if you don't have all of the lots of different colors, by stamping off and then using second or even third generation stamping, you can get a much greater degree of colors. You get lots of different shades. Now here I'm showing you all the matching dies that come with the set, and you can see there's a ton. So we're going to cut out some of those foliage from the old olive scrap cardstock. I'm going to cut out that from our Timid Tiger, and if by magic we've done it all, so I've got a piece here of basic white that I cut with the one circle, and you can see here I've cut out just the very edge here, just the little frame. First, before we stick anything down, we're going to now stamp our sentiment, and that's going to say thanks. So I'm going to use my grid paper to line this up, just so I have a hope of getting it straight. Stamp it in some gorgeous grape ink. So down, hold and up. There we go. Lovely jubbly. All done. Give that a little clean. I'm a great believer in cleaning up as you go along, you'll see. And putting things away so that I don't end up with orphans stamp sets and dies. Right now it is time to assemble all of this. So we're going to put down this little very fine, whatever you call it, frame. That's the word I was looking for. And I'm going to use just the tiniest amount of glue that I can on the back here. Glue is just some Tombow mono adhesive, and I'm just using my reverse tweezers to hold that and give me a chance to get things nicely lined up. Now I just remembered that I need to put it down on my basic white. So I've got a piece here of basic white that measures 14.35 centimeters by 10, and then I've used a piece of purple Gorgeous Grape Designer Series paper, and I've just cut a strip and I've put that down on the right hand side, and then I've laid down my white oval, and now I'm laying down a lovely little frame, and then I've used one of my blocks just over the top of it, just so I can make sure that it's going to stick down and just keep it in place. Now I've got another piece of basic white, same measurement, and that's going to go inside for our insert. Right, let's start to put this card together. You can see I've got all my flowers die cut, and now I'm going to pop these up on dimensionals. So let's do that while our frame is drying. Now it should all be dried and fine, seems so. So now we can stick this to the front of our card base. And I don't know if I said our card base is Gorgeous Grape. So it's a standard A6 card base. That's A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. Okay, looking good. Right, let's stick this foliage down. And again, I'm going to use my Tombow glue and my my silicone mat. So I can try and hope not to get glue all over the place if I'm very lucky. And again, my reverse tweezers. So there we've got our first piece, and then I'm going to just put in the last little stem there. And even just those stems by themselves look really pretty, I think. But let's continue, and I'm going to take off my dimensionals. My foam adhesive, and I'm just putting my little flowers down and just looking at how I want them to go, and then there we go, that's the arrangement I've gone with. Now I've got these leaves here, and this is all on one piece, but I'm actually going to pull these apart and I'm going to stick these all over the show. So my glue is not a happy chappy, so I'm just going to put some glue on my silicone mat, dip my leaf in, and then we're going to just go around this. We're just going to tuck those in where I feel it needs some extra foliage, but I think it really does. So I'm just using my scissors here just to cut these leaves off the stem, and then I've got tons of leaves that I can tuck and play about with. So now, if you've enjoyed this card, I should say, you will find all the measurements on the blog post as well as my supply list, and you can find the link to that in the description box below, so do check that out. You'll also find all my social media links. You'll find me on obviously on Facebook, but also on Instagram and Pinterest, so do hop across onto, especially on Instagram, and say hello. I post there fairly regularly, all of my projects that I make and all sorts of other stuff, so I would love you to come and say hello there. There we go, there is our foliage. I'm going to stick with 3 pieces. I think that looks balanced to my eye anyway. Now I've got here some of my some embellishments around with me, and I'm just trying to decide which I want to use. And I think I'm going to use these big ones here for my flower centres, and I think these are the faceted gems trio, and then I've got these purple shimmer sequins as well, and I'm going to use just a few of these to dot around here and there, and then our card should be finished. So there we go. So that was our thank you card today, featuring the Impressions Abloom stamp set and matching dies. You can see here I've got the 2 versions. I've got the purple version, and then I've got my my blue and pink version. Let me know in the description box which one you prefer. I love to read your comments. So until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.